Okay, I am live. Okay, so my name is Chastity, and I have my name tag. It so happens I work at Hy-Vee. How may I help you? And well, it's backwards because cameras. It's backwards, but it says Chastity. Serving since 2012. Now, I sort of joined Twitch recently. I mean, I had an account, but I hadn't used it. And I want to talk about why I started streaming on Twitch, okay? Because I know that Twitch is I know it's a game streaming platform, and I've been doing that. I've been trying to learn how to stream. I use open broadcaster software to stream from my computer, but only recently I discovered that it is possible to stream directly from a phone or a tablet device. So right now I'm on my iPad. Now, so you can stream your camera feed, camera and microphone, and you can also stream what's on the screen. So mobile games, for example, I streamed old school RuneScape. I love RuneScape, but my favorite game of all time is of course Tetris. And when streaming, I have to choose a category. So what I decided to do is choose the Tetris category for this stream. So this is a Twitch stream to the Tetris category. Now, I talk about Tetris all the time. I play Tetris whenever I get a chance. And I want to talk about Tetris, but I want to talk about more than that. Because, see, I need to rant, okay? I have a hard life. I have a really hard life. And life is just not going the way that I want it to. But I'm doing everything I can to change that. Now, there are a few facts that are very important to understand about me. And in case it's not already obvious, first, my hair is a mess. Yes, I know my hair is a mess. I take a shower every morning, and sometimes I put in a ponytail to look more professional. But I am not being professional right now. I'm being real, okay? I am at home sitting on the toilet because I ate Taco Bell yesterday, okay? I have issues. But I want to talk about some unique challenges that I face. First, autism. Anybody can tell I'm autistic because I can go ramble on about video games and things, and my mind has so many connections you could not begin to understand. But I'm a gamer. I am an artist. I am, a computer programmer. And see, computer programming began because of my love for video games. And since people don't really know me on Twitch, I have a YouTube channel, I have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I have a lot of views on TikTok. And I answer a lot of questions on Quora, and I even got promoted to an admin in the Transbian group on Quora, actually. And I noticed that I have a lot of people who view my questions. I get a lot of upvotes. So I'm sort of popular on a few other platforms, but I decided to really try to get on Twitch. And I want to tell you what got me on Twitch. Well, I didn't really know what Twitch was, but I have been enrolled in Full Sail University. I started in April. First month, I had creative presentation. Then I had psychology of play. Then last month I had introduction to the video game industry. And then this month I'm starting introduction to esports production, I believe is what it's called. Now, I am a Full Sail student, and I am enrolled in the Game Business and Esports Bachelor of Science program online. So the school is in Florida, but I do the online program. And so I've gotten through first 3 months of my program fine, and with really good grades. 100 on most assignments, and maybe, 93, 95, 97 on other assignments. And there's a system to how things are graded. Well, of course, it's always subjective to a certain extent by the professor, what they think. But I'm enjoying the online school. Now, that's the good news. I do computer programming for fun. I play Tetris. It's my favorite game of all time. And I love school. But what the sad thing that people don't realize is that I don't get the adequate time to pursue all my passions as I would like to, because here's what's happening is I was doing good. I lived in Independence, okay? I lived in Independence. I had my own apartment. I worked a full-time job. That job fell through, and I lost my apartment and had to move back in with my mom. You know, I had a full-time job, and I thought my life was going somewhere. But upon losing that job, I went back to working at Hy-Vee, and I couldn't make enough money because Hy-Vee, the entire time since 2012, has never hired me full-time. And I have begged and I have pleaded, but I've basically been informed that I'm never going to get full-time. It's basically it. And I can think of a few reasons why. Yes, I know that I look weird. I know that I'm transgender and autistic, and people think that I'm stupid. That's it. People think I'm stupid. Now, I am in some ways, but I'm actually super genius in other ways. If you see me play Tetris, or if you've seen my videos of my 3 video games that I've published, you'll know that I'm actually pretty smart when it comes to computer programming. But back when I was in Independence, before I lost my apartment, I dedicated a lot of time to computer programming. I had some experience in C and BASIC and stuff like that, but my first game that I made was Chase-Tris, and you've probably seen that in some of my other streams on Twitch, and not to mention all over my other social media. But Chase-Tris was a game I worked on for 6 months because I had made small programs, but Chase-Tris was the first game I ever made. Now, what Chase-Tris is basically a Tetris game with no gravity. The pieces only fall when you make them. You have to press the down key to make them fall, but you can do all the operations. You can rotate the blocks clockwise, counterclockwise. You can even move the blocks up, which you can't do in regular Tetris games. And I spent 6 months on that project, from like January till June when I published it on Steam. And of course, the game has not gotten very popular, but I play my own game a lot. I really do play my own game a lot because I like Tetris, but what I like about my game Chase-Tris is it allows me to play Tetris but not be ruined when I have interruptions. And I have a lot of interruptions. See, here's the thing. The phone could ring, or my mom could scream that she needs something, and my mom needs a lot of help sometimes. And so I don't get, like, now I don't get to learn programming as much as I would like to while living with my mom, because I do get interruptions sometimes, and she can't help it. She needs me. Physically, she can't do much, and I have to do a lot. And then I work part-time at Hy-Vee. I'm still in the process of trying to get a full-time job, but nobody hires me. But maybe that will change soon, and I will have a full-time job. But I want to talk about some of my goals. See, I want to talk about some of my goals as it relates to video games, as it relates to programming, and also my Twitch streams. See, what I want is I want to get a full-time job so that I can earn enough money to, continue school and pay off my student loans and get a better place for my mom and I to live instead of this tiny apartment where everything's broken. We live in a bad situation. But if we have a better place to live and I earn enough money, that will allow me to, sure, I'll be busy, but it will allow me the resources to really get started with my own business. See, what I'm trying to do is I make video games for fun. I'm trying to promote and sell my own video games. And there's so much that I know I need to learn. There's a lot about programming that I still don't know. There's a lot about business that I don't know. And that's part of why I enrolled in the Game Business and Esports Science program with Full Sail University. Because I want to know the business. How can I promote my own stuff? And here's the thing is, I am a person who's stuck in my own head a lot, okay? I think about a lot of things, but what I think and what actually happened when I try to do something are not the same. Um, and so I need all the feedback. I need all the advice I can get. So, what I learned from my instructors in Full Sail University and the reading materials is helpful. But here's a way that you can all help me on Twitch, okay? I need followers. I need people who comment. I need people to, comment on my streams and give me feedback, because I would like to do gaming streams, but I'd also like to do a lot more streams like this where I'm just talking. Because here's what's interesting. Now, I'm on YouTube, and I've tried, streaming on YouTube. I upload a lot of gaming videos to YouTube, and YouTube is a fun platform. It is, but it really seems like Twitch is more geared towards gamers, the younger audience, and acceptance of LGBTQIA plus people, and that's another thing is, I'm transgender, I'm a trans woman, and I do have a lot to say about that too. I try not to make it my personality, but people have the wrong idea about transgender people. They think that transgender people are like, these trans women who have had tons of surgeries and look like women and then going topless at the White House, like Rose Montoya. That's not a good image of trans women. Or other people think that trans women are men who pretend to be women to go into women's restrooms and rape women. First of all, nothing stopped men from raping women outside of restrooms. So that's just completely bogus. And if anybody's ever done that, they should be arrested, of course, and stopped. But people think that transgender people they either think they're like the super hot, attractive women who have had hormones and surgery for 10 years, and I can think of a few: Rose Montoya, Blair White, Isla Rose, Rose of Dawn, Samantha Lux, and Maya Henry, for example. Let's not forget Stacey K, the hottest trans woman there ever was. Okay, but anyway, that is one type of trans woman. But there's also people like me. My gender identity is female. I was born biologically male, and I didn't get to transition during puberty, obviously. My voice will always remain somewhat male, and I'll never be as attractive as these other trans women that are in the media, and it takes a lot of surgery and hormones to look like that. By the way, Dylan Mulvaney, had the facial feminization surgery, and it does look very feminine. It looks very good, but I thought Dylan Mulvaney looked fine before. But, the whole point of transitioning is to be able to pass as your gender identity. I don't think I'll ever have that luxury. I don't think I'll ever pass as female, because I didn't get started until I was 34 on hormones, and I've had the only surgery I need to have, okay? But, so besides the fact that I want to, learn more computer programming, get my degree and have a full-time job that pays the bills and gets me and my mom a better place to live, I want to be a good example. I want to be a good example of trans people, good representation, because there's a lot of people who hate us, and I like that Twitch does not allow homophobia or transphobia. I do like that element because, that's something you experience a lot on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. You get a lot of haters, and I'm familiar with it, and I just ignore them. But what I would really like to do is I would really like to, unite the trans community. Not that there is a community, but there's a bunch of trans people that know each other because we all have the same weirdness, basically, in various ways. But I want to be a good example of a trans person so that people learn to be less transphobic, you know, and I want to, be a game streamer, and I want to learn more programming, and I want to learn how to keep making games, because I like the games I've made so far, but I still want to learn C++, I want to learn C sharp, and I simply don't have the time. I spend all my time either at work or school or helping my mother, but I know that I will achieve my goals. That's the thing, is I will achieve my goals, and I know that because sooner or later, I will get a full-time job. Somebody will give me a full-time job, and I'll earn enough money that I hopefully won't have to worry about having food to eat or a place to live. That's what I'm hoping. And then there will come a time, when I'm living alone, because, my mom will die, and I don't want her to die right now. I'm not saying I want my mom to die, but I am saying that, I love my mom, but after she does die, then I will be alone. And I have mixed feelings about that. I will be alone because I probably won't be married. And I certainly won't have kids because nobody would let someone like me adopt. But I'll be someone who works a full-time job, has my own place, and all my free time will go towards school, and if I'm done with that, learning technology, learning more programming languages, because I really do like computer programming. And I want to explain about the 3 games I've made. Technically, I've made 4 games, but 1 game is not finished. It's a platformer game, and I have a good start, but I don't even know where I'm going with that game. But the games that I made, first there was Chase Triss. I made my own Tetris. And then I made Chased Puyo. And it's basically a Puyo Puyo clone. And I actually uploaded a YouTube short of a 32 combo using in Chased Puyo, because if you played Puyo Puyo like as a Puyo Puyo Tetris or Puyo Puyo Champions, you'll know what the Puyo Puyo game is. Now Puyo 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 is hard to say. It's a Japanese puzzle game, very, very popular in Japan, not as popular in the U.S. But Puyo Puyo Champions used to be, it was originally called Puyo Puyo Esports in Japan, because it's like the most competitive official version of Puyo Puyo there is. But Puyo Puyo started out as a competitive game. Like, it started out as a 2-player game where all the concepts, such as popping those Puyos, matching 4 of the same color, and sending garbage to your opponent, those are similar elements to Tetris. Whereas Tetris can be thought of as either a single-player game or a multiplayer game. Puyo Puyo was like multiplayer from the start, and Puyo Puyo is a really great game. So, obviously Tetris is my favorite. Tetris is the most popular puzzle game, the most popular game in the puzzle genre. There's no doubt about that. But Puyo Puyo actually in Japan, from what I understand, is probably the most popular puzzle game, in Japan at least. And it's pretty popular in the US with the release of recent games available on Steam, for instance. But then a third puzzle game that I made was Chased Panel. I called it Chased Panel, which is kind of a weird name, but because it's a clone of Panel de Pon. So, Panel de Pon was an old Super NES game in Japan. Now, it wasn't released in the US until recently as part of the Nintendo Switch Online service. But it was released in America as Tetris Attack. It was called Tetris Attack, but it's not Tetris. In fact, what Panel de Pon is it's a match 3 puzzle game. It's like Bejeweled, except with a few restrictions. it's a puzzle game. Like, it's a puzzle game that is similar to Tetris and Puyo because you have to match these blocks, but they're vertically or horizontally. It's not like Puyo where they can be like in a square or some other bizarre shape, but you have to match 3 of them, either horizontally or vertically. Then they disappear, and then the blocks fall. So but it's basically, it has the same elements. If you've played Panel de Pon, like the original, you'll know that it's a Super NES game with these cute fairies, and it has you competing against computer opponents or theoretically other people. But not too many people, especially in the US, have a Super NES with Panel de Pon and 2 controllers. But it has the same elements. You're clearing those panels by matching them, and you send garbage to your opponent. Although Panel de Pon does something that's different because the garbage goes at the top rather than the bottom, like in Tetris. But I made a chased panel. I made my own version of it. It has all the mechanics. Of course, it's not multiplayer because I don't know how to make a multiplayer game. But so my first 3 games were clones of existing games. I cloned Tetris, I cloned Puyo Puyo, and I cloned Panel de Pon. And they're all available on itch.io. And then Chase-Tris is actually available on Steam as well. So I've made these games in the C programming language. I started using Raylib, then I switched to SDL. So I made these games, and these games are really good. They're not popular by any means because people, of course, are playing the official games in those genres. Because I know that my games will never compete with the existing Tetris, Puyo, or Panel de Pon games. And that's okay because they're not designed to. That's not why they're designed. They are meant to be a practice tool and stepping stones for me as I learn computer programming. But I'm very proud of these projects. Chase-Tris is my best game because it allows me to try new techniques, no gravity, no time pressure, and then it actually improves my skill in playing actual Tetris. In fact, I use Chase-Tris to practice ST stacking, a common method for scoring high. Or it's technically would be thought of as ZT stacking because you're using the Z block, the red block on the right side of the screen most of the time. Though either way can be done. But yeah, I just have to say ST stacking is definitely one of the coolest ways to score high, and I have a lot of videos of me executing that. And part of what was great about that, what I found most amazing about my Tetris game is the fact that there's no gravity and it goes at the speed I want it to, allows it to, I make better decisions and I can do perfect play. But it's not just that it lets me play perfectly because I'm not under time pressure, but it also has saving and reloading. It has a replay feature. That's how my games are done. So, and I borrowed the idea from, like, say, No Pomino. No Pomino was a great game, and as was Apotris. Apotris was a Game Boy Advance game that was never released on a Game Boy Advance, but it was made by an independent developer. But what I liked about these games is that I could freeze the game, go frame by frame, and place those Tetris blocks perfectly. And it seems like it's possible to do ST stacking or anything. If you're skilled enough, you can do any kind of stacking style, whether perfect clears or whatever it may be. But that's the thing is that, anyway, I don't want to ramble on too much about that. But the point is, my games are a practice tool that allow me to become better at actual puzzle games. And it shows too, because I was practicing Puyo Puyo using my own game. And I set up like a 32-bit combo, although I did that programmatically, in fact. But then I got so good at practicing using my own game, I found out that I actually play better when I play Puyo Puyo Champions. So my games are a practice tool, and they're not meant to compete with the existing puzzle games. But I think there is an audience for them, and I enjoy playing my own games. But I want to learn C++ because it has advanced features that may be useful, though I currently do everything in C. I also want to learn C# because C# it catches my interest because it was a Microsoft invention, but it's very C-like. It has the same syntax, the curly brace syntax. You have these blocks with curly braces, you have functions. I want to learn more about C#, and I actually downloaded Wikibooks. You should check out Wikibooks. Wikibooks is like free online books that you can download. I downloaded a book on C#, I downloaded a book on C++, and I already have an official copy of the C++ programming language, 4th edition. I also have the 2nd edition too. I bought that used. But anyway, I can't go on too much longer because I do need to get to work. I am working 1 to 6 today, and it's currently 11:59. But I use this time to sort of introduce myself because I want people to know, who I am, why am I on Twitch, and what my goals are. Because I think I have what it takes to be a good video game streamer and an even better computer programmer than I currently am. And when my situation improves and I have a job, then I have a good place to live, higher quality internet that doesn't cut out so much, I will probably be streaming more often. For now, I don't have any predictable schedule because Hy-Vee, I never know when they'll schedule me. And if I can get a full-time job that I earn enough money, I can ditch Hy-Vee. And I want a full-time job with a regular schedule because that way I can, I can set what times do I work on school, what time do I do my video game streaming, what time do I work on computer programming, and when do I spend time with my mother, because my mother complains if I don't spend enough time with her, so that's just the truth. So I want to be able to have a more predictable schedule. That's what I really want, and that's one reason I want a full-time job. The other reason is I need to make more than $100 a week. So, yeah. So let's see though, is there anything else very important I want to mention for this stream? Yes, okay, so here's what I want anybody who does watch this. I want you to follow me on Twitch. If you're on Twitch and watching this stream, follow me on Twitch, so you get updates when and if I do go live, because I would really like to see some comments. Now, I don't know, I can't currently see, let's see here, is there a way to view the, is there a way to see the chat box? Do I even have messages? I can't see if I have messages right now because it's just showing me in my camera view. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't really know, yeah. So I won't be able to check the chat, but I only have one viewer, so there's probably nothing in the chat. But what I probably would do in the future, let's say if I'm ever doing one of these streams where I talk, I would just, log in on my computer and read the chat from my computer while I use my iPad to record myself. Now, I don't have a camera for my computer. Well, technically I do, but it quit working. It just quit working. Like a friend bought me this camera, and I used to be able to use it, but then after a while it just stopped working. Like it'll work if the cord's in a certain position, and then as soon as a speck of dust falls on the cord or whatever, then it just stopped working. So I really want to get a gaming laptop eventually, a gaming laptop with a built-in camera, because I used to have a laptop that had a camera in it and it could just record me and I did videos more conveniently. But as of right now, this iPad is the most advanced technology thing I own for video recording. And I also have an iPhone, but calls can interrupt it and all that. So I do what I can with the technology I have, but I want to be like in the future, I want to be a major streamer. I want to be somebody who plays video games and I want to add some comedy to it. I want to talk about the game I'm playing. I want to talk about funny things in life, current events, maybe politics, make fun of politics like Bill Maher. Bill Maher is funny. So is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's kind of cool. But I like to think of myself as a comedian. Because I can be funny, but it always happens accidentally. I have an accidental humor. If I try to be funny, it doesn't work. But when I'm trying to be serious, I feel miserably and people laugh at me. And they'll always be laughing at me, so I'll just try to convince myself it's because I'm funny rather than because they're mocking me. Because they usually are. But anyway, I guess that's all I have to say for this stream for right now. I'm hoping that future streams I'll have some followers. I'm hoping that I'll have some people who, interact in the chat and that I can answer some questions. Because I used to have a little bit of that on back when I used to stream on YouTube. I would see a little chat box and answer people's questions. That's fun. So I hope people start following me on Twitch so they can get future updates, because I would like to get some followers. I would like to hear from you. What games would you like me to stream? Is there a topic I should talk about? So give me some feedback, people. Also, shout out to Lady Bettner, who I've seen her. She's kind of a friend, and she streams games a lot. She plays those shooter games. I'm not really into shooter games because they traumatize me. But yeah, so she has a Twitch channel. So you can follow her channel too if you're interested. So I guess I'll end the stream for now. So, and also, I am not hard to find online, because I've learned that you can't leave messages in the chat after a stream has ended for whatever reason. So if you need to ask me something, if you need to say something, I have YouTube, I have Twitter, I've got Facebook. My name is Chandler Klebs on Facebook. That's my legal name. So I'm not hard to find. So if there's anything you want to say because you watched the stream after it ended, then you just contact me on any of my social media, either Chastity White Rose or Chandler Klebs. So I guess that's it. And I guess you'll see me in future streams I do, depending on how my life goes.